Okay, and here we are for episode 2. All right, I'm gonna let everybody come on in, and this way we'll have a certain amount of people that hear this live, and then they can turn around and move it around. All right. Before I bring people up to talk, I'm at home taking care of some stuff, writing chores back and forth. But like I said to you guys before, like a big giant family, so I bring you guys throughout my day. So let me just bring you this little bit of information to help everybody understand where we are, why XRP at the price, what is it going to be, what's the latest, and everything else like that. Okay. First things first, XRP is not AMC. XRP is not a stock. It is not a meme stock. It has nothing to do with what we've dealt with for those of us that have been around since AMC. This is not that. Okay. They can't short it. They can't synthetic. What has delayed XRP from getting the full-blown price valuation that we believe, or what better yet, what we want, is Wall Street. I'm not going to say the bank, but you guys got to put a little bit of detective hat on here. There was a certain big bank on Wall Street that caught wind of XRP Ripple's um, company, their service, their mission, their market space, their potential worth. And that company started to create their own coin for trade settlements, capital markets. But the problem was this: they could not build anything like Ripple's XRP. Nowhere near. I mean, it's just not possible. It was done because XRP started where XLM left off. So this has many, many, many years with a lot of brilliant minds that worked on it. And now the battle to classify XRP as a security, most people look at that as, oh my God, what are we going to do? And all I can tell you is the world does not give a fuck about what it's classified. The world is already going into the implementation, adaptation, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, they're finding the partners. They're starting to write their new policies on how banks will do cross-border settlements. I mean, just Australia just did it the other day. Everybody's calling it a pilot program because the entire world moved money through the US Swiss system. People have to understand that this process that is happening right now, the XRP, Ripple, ODL, just the whole process of it is basically saying, Swift system, America, yeah, we're not going through you no more. That's a big, that's a big ballsy move. Trust me. All of a sudden, the US is making sure that you're using their, the US dollar as a world reserve currency, and you have to go through their system, the Swiss system, and all of a sudden people are like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So now as more countries start the process of coming over to the XRP cross-border settlements, you're going to see them come out more and more and more. There's a whole host of banks and countries that are doing it. They're just keeping it on the quiet. But let's face it, with BRICS going on right now, as far as the summit, we already know the writing on the wall. So just want to tell people that this is the reason why everything has been so delayed, because Wall Street tried to cover, or better yet, corner the market before XRP, before Ripple did. But the reality is they can't. It's just not possible. Now, what people ask me, when are we going to see this price? When are we going to see that price? I'm going to say real simple. If the initial phase is getting 10% of the global financial markets, we should be somewhere around the $100-ish later this fall. And I'm going to leave it at that. Because as people migrate off the SWIFT system, you're going to see the first phase of XRP showing its true colors. Understand something. Everybody was always like, ISO this, ISO that. I think I have to clean up the whole ISO, I don't know, I guess magic. ISO is just basically a messaging standard. That's all it is. That's all Swift is. It's a messaging system to validate, move communication back and forth, authentications, amounts from the proper accounts and all that. See, but none of that stuff mattered because the Swift system was too old, too outdated, too slow. XRP does that thing right on that blockchain in seconds. Do you understand? So does XLM. Understand something. The banks in the US are going to come full online because everybody's have standard. They had a contingency plan in case, obviously, XRP is not a security. This is all going, even if they don't publicly say they're doing XRP, they're using them through a partner. It's just, I've seen this before in the old Silicon Valley days where a company, does business with another company's technology via a partner or a channel partnership. That's the same thing. FedNow is no different. FedNow is using XRP indirectly through partners. XLM is gaining massive market space also in America. So you're winning with either both. And XDC is just Ethereum 2.0. It's basically what Ethereum should have been. So I hope that makes sense today. I covered what's the latest. I covered the pricing, where I think we're going to be at. I covered, the whole setup on what's going on moving forward, and I hope that helped. And let me start with the process, and let me see if I could do this. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, let me go here, and over. All right, so let me just see. Let me go back here. Okay, so first one, food boss. Okay, all you got to do.
Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is so cool. Okay, I just had a question.
Shoot.
So I saw the price of like the ledger online and I thought it was a bit expensive for my situation right now. So I decided to move my crypto from Uphold to a non-custodial wallet. I know that like if Exodus gets hacked, at least the hackers won't have access to my personal wallet because I have like a VPN and everything covered for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I was just wondering.
I could tell you right now, for all the people that have fear of being hacking, I've spoken on the last couple of days with like people major in the cybersecurity space as far as like what's going on. The biggest threat all of us are facing, all of us, is people actually driving up by homes, expensive homes, and scanning for cold wallets with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. And they're doing it in apartment buildings and condos. It's a major thing. So government doesn't really talk about that. So whatever you put your XRP or any coins on, try to wrap them up in something that blocks Bluetooth or Wi-Fi because they're actually think about it. You go to Miami, for example, you get to a luxury building and you walk through the floors with the proper equipment, you can get yourself a signal right into a ledger or another type of device. So the idea is to block the signal. The signal is more important than the device. So I hope that helps. I just want to put that out there because I didn't do it earlier.
Okay. So that's why you were like promoting the Farricade bags so that like no signals could go in or out.
Well, it's actually one of my friend, Elk. He can verify this. I'll bring him on later. When the U.S. government, I'll just put it like that. Hello, government. Whenever they grab any electronic device, cell phones, flash drives, laptops, whatever, the first thing they do is they wrap it in those bags. Now, the thing about it is this: right now, I'll give you an example. I can go to Beverly Hills right now with one of those devices in a rental vehicle, drive around, and be much more. Put it this way: if you rob a bank, you'll probably get $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 out of that bank. You have a hack signal outside a mansion in Palm Beach or Beverly Hills or somewhere in one of the apartments in Park Avenue, you could walk away probably with millions or God knows what. So that's right now the biggest threat to the crypto space. It's the signal interference. That's what it is. And because the way we operate at home, we feel that once we close the door and we're inside, we got our Wi-Fi signal. And remember, all of our devices, are tied to that Wi-Fi signal. So we're vulnerable inside our homes, and they know that. So all you need to do is have somebody get access to a very expensive building or a nice subdivision, or park outside of a very expensive home. If they ping the cold wallet device that's Bluetooth enabled or connected to the home Wi-Fi, that's when they can get it. I mean, honestly, here's the funny thing: going to a simple UBS flash drive with a simple PIN code on it, it will actually, at this point, if you're not going to protect it with a bag, you'll be better off just putting your stuff on a flash drive. Something, it has to be something with a signal, because if it's in your home, who's going to get it? Let's say you put it under, I don't know, your sofa underneath the rug. Who's going to touch it? You do a little slit on the rug and you put it on nobody's going to touch it. Short of a fire, it's safe. But when it's a Bluetooth enabled Wi-Fi, that's where it's vulnerable.
Okay.
So shoot.
Even with like a VPN, is it like not safe enough, I guess?
Yeah, it's not, because what happens is if that device happen to have some type of like a protocol, like another word, like if I don't want to say backdoor because that's so like movie-ish, but most Bluetooth enabled devices have things like a side. By the way, have you ever lost your earbuds or your Jabra ear pros and stuff like that, and you can find them with your phone? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
my earbuds. Well, that there is a separate entryway to your device, which runs outside of the security protocols. So if they get it, they could game it. So they have different access points, because that's just, unfortunately, yes, the company builds a security feature once, updates it, but hackers are constantly, think about it. They can get away clean with a couple of $1 million if they perfect their craft, and they're doing it. And I'm going to say it like this: a lot of the times they're people that were former government. I'm just going to be, not just American government, just, let's face it. If you have the skills to clean out hard wallets around the world, and you're a bad person, yeah, you know what you're doing for a living. So one of those things, I will bag it up. I wouldn't, even the VPNs, yes, you can mask it, you can block it, you can set your IP somewhere else, whatever. But remember, the idea is if they're scanning your home, which is the biggest threat right now, okay, because let's say they don't steal it from you. Let's say you live wherever. That's the biggest threat right now on those devices. Companies won't say that to you, but there's a reason why the government now is using those bags on any seized electronics. So hope that helps.
Okay. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Giant hug, bro. Go.
Hello?
Okay, I'm here. Go ahead. I'm here.
Hey, Lou. This is Rich. This is the guy that wrote you that email about the power grid. I just want to say
Oh,
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
you
I've
understand?
been with you for years.
You don't got to. You understand the sensitivity of that question. Here on Twitter, I could probably fucking go into the whole thing of it, but I don't even know about that, because one time the government shut us down the last time. But let's look at it like this: that power grid situation is not far fetched. It's something that a lot of people have been talking about, warning about, and the reality is, it makes perfect sense with the idea of a financial reset that's coming, because whenever, like, people have to understand what's happening now is our financial system is going to switch off from a old legacy system into a new crypto tokenized system. And you have to think, how do you accomplish that? What, with stopping everybody from taking money to the bank, no bank runs, nobody trying to do wires in and out, basically everything staying the same. And the reality is power outage. And I don't think it's going to be a power outage in like all over America. I think it's select certain markets. Like I tell everybody, 9/11 happened in New York, not in Oklahoma. If it happened in Oklahoma, nobody would even, like, they'd be, oh my God, some planes went down in Oklahoma. These things have to happen in strategic locations to basically do everything. Like I would say, the Federal Reserve is moving down to Texas. Why? Why is that happening? Do you understand? So that's one of those things where when you said the power grid, I was like, I'm going to answer that the best way I can in this.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
That's why I put Mr. Bugs. I already knew.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that evil motherfucker. Okay, the idea that they now want to push people eating bugs, people living without air conditioning, people living in like little rooms in 15-minute cities and stuff like that. See, here's the reality of it, and I think this is what they don't understand. The success that Castro had and China had with their communism versus what these motherfuckers are doing. They gave you the illusion. Castro always gave people the illusion that they were still living their life. They were still able to go to church. They were still able to go to the market. They played football. One of my judo coaches came from Cuba. They used to go, compete. It was this whole different thing. They used to go fishing. They used to go on dates, whatever. It was the illusion of you were free. But you lived under the revolution, and you had to, there were struggles. You had to, have, less food or less clothes or whatever, ration everything out. But see, this nonsense now, this is not that. This is 100% in your face control. And I think that's where they're going to fail, because there's a reality that happens to people when they go hungry. And that's when, and let me tell you something. It's interesting because when I was a kid, I'll tell the story. I can't even say that in YouTube. But when I was a kid, which is kind of funny, they like arrested everybody on the neighborhood and they just took us, which was like one of those Harlem camping stories. But it just happened to go down to central booking. So the idea is they grabbed everybody, and everybody was laughing and joking around because everybody knew we were all innocent. I mean, the charge was grand theft auto. We had bicycles. Like that don't even make any sense. But anyway, the idea was, a couple of hours will be fine. Well, here's the problem. Everybody was okay until they started getting hungry. And then in transport back and forth, you started to see people that were cool, joking, this ain't no big deal. When hunger set in, it got to the point where I started to see people that I knew, that I grew up with, start to become different people. They were willing to do acts of crimes against guards because they were hungry. Hunger and thirst, that'll change a population real fast. So, Mr. Bugs, that shit might look good on a white paper, but when you see your children starving, that ain't gonna work. It's not.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not. Look at Cuba right now. The only reason the reason people uprising now in Cuba is because of the food shortages have gone to the point where people are missing meals like every other day. As long as they had that one meal a day and they could supplement it with other things, fish, some vegetables, whatever, they would, that would be okay. But when you start missing meals, that's when you got something going on. Totally different. So now you understand why YouTube for that world.
Of course, I understand. Thank you for reading my whole email. I do appreciate it.
No, I totally get it. And as far as like the pricing of the XRP, now you understand. I take a look at us being around $50 to $100 probably later this fall, when the banks finally, because they just got on the ISO standard. Like this, just people don't understand. Like they just right now, like a couple of days ago, were able to even communicate with the blockchain. So as far as them moving money back and forth, like they have to train employees. Like, everybody has to be online on how this is done. So that's going to take a couple of days, probably a month or two. And the reality was Wall Street was making their own coin, trying to compete with XRP Ripple. And from what I'm hearing, that coin wasn't delivered. So it's out there in name, but it wasn't delivered. So people are not going, oh shit, now we're going to go. Okay, well, I guess we're going to go to XRP Ripple ODL. There you go. That's what it is. So I see us probably 50 to 100 later this fall. So that's some good stuff.
I love to hear those numbers.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. Like to clear everything up. Yes, I am holding my XRP for a long time to hit a certain number. I'm going to do it, but this was going to be episode number 3 for the podcast, which is going to be tomorrow. I worry about Ripple going IPO. I worry about Ripple having shares in the market when the major institutes that were trying to put a competing coin out there are going to be able to buy up the shares, take up the board, and yada, yada, yada. That's what I worry. because that's when you come back to my world. And I think a lot of you have learned through the experience in AMC and GameStop and Bed Bath and Beyond. He who controls the company, controls your investment. So that's my fear for Ripple, and I wish that they would delay that IPO. I mean, they just in sales of the ODL service are going to make so much money. They have no reason to go IPO now, none.
Crazy.
And I was actually going to send a tweet out to the CEO of Ripple and just tell him, if you do this, the same powers that sued the company are going to buy up every share available, and you're going to find yourself a minority shareholder in your company.
Oh my God. You're absolutely right about that. I fear that was one of the things I actually feared too, because like you said, you acquire so much as a company, you get to control it. Imagine if BlackRock gets their hands on it. Who knows what's going to happen?
Let me tell you something. The funny thing about it is, when I started talking XRP Ripple, because I looked at it from the technology side of it, because I was thinking, and I was talking to my people about it, and I was like, there's no fucking way they're going to allow us to own this shit. I was like, there's no way. Like, these are the keys. Like, back in the old days, in the late 90s, I was involved with a company called ValoCert, and ValoCert had something that was very, very valuable. It was a set of encrypted keys that will allow banks or governments to communicate with each other over the open internet. So the idea is, let's say I'm going to send you $1 million, but before I send you the $1 million over the open internet, where it could be hacked and all kinds of crazy things happen, I send you a digital encrypted key, like NSA level. You get it, you acknowledge it, and once you acknowledge it, it lets me know that you have the key, and it registers onto your computer. So your computer and my computer, and the connection in between becomes an encrypted, secure line. Those keys, I remember when we introduced them, because we had no fucking idea on how to price them, started out at 25,000. When IBM, RSA, when they all paid us all out and told us to go fuck ourselves, it was somewhere around 250,000 starting per key. So these coins are a 2.0 version of those keys, because it's nothing but encryption. You're attaching it, it wraps it up, and it runs it on the ledger. So the value of this, because remember, this was based on, they had to make the keys. This is the thing that nobody understands, and I remember this. And one of my coworkers actually works at fintech. I'm going to see if I get him on, but he'll probably get in trouble. The idea is this: those keys had to be expensive, so only the major banks around the world could use them in order to move large money back and forth as far as communications. They couldn't just make it cheap. It had to be expensive because there was only X amount of keys. That sounds familiar right now. It's called XRP. XRP has to be priced at a very high rate in order for there to be enough liquidity. So when people go, yeah, it's going to go only to $7, I'm like, you're not understanding. XRP is more than just cross-border settlement. What happens when it starts doing all the, settling securities? You're talking about bonds, equities. Real estate right now, that's another episode I got to do, what real estate is going to do around the world. There are real estate companies I'll make it easier. Let's just say we take all the foreclosures in Detroit and we tokenize them and we put them in this big offering. And now people from around the world can buy into those homes without having to be there. So whatever rental income those abandoned homes get, people get they get paid out in XRP. That's the kind of stuff that you can do on the protocol right now. You don't have to do any side. You don't got to go through third-party vendors. It's that robust right now that tokenization. The only reason they haven't done it is because they're too busy right now taking over this, I don't know, quadrillion-dollar market of cross-border settlements. But when it's already starting, people are starting to go, wait a minute, we could tokenize things with XRP, run it on the blockchain. So I think people don't understand the potential for this. Like sometimes I believe that Ripple, I don't think they fully know, because they've been so stuck on cross-border settlement being that bridge currency. But tokenization, I'll tell everybody right here and right now, the future of wealth is investing or buying tokens that are attached to assets. So whether it be, I don't know, imagine if farms were tokenized and you can get a portion of the profits from it by buying those tokens, or a sports team, or I don't know, oil field in Nigeria. Tokenization is the future. So once we get through this, we'll have the money to buy the tokens that are attached to whatever is on the other side. So there you go. Hope that helps, Rich.
One more question, then I'm off. I have to ask this. How pissed are the banks, the governments, how pissed are they at us for owning this coin?
Oh,
How?
I can tell you right now, pissed enough to, in my opinion, to see legislation come banning us from owning it in the United States. Pissed enough in order to see the major exchanges eventually have a glitch, and pissed enough to turn around and tax us to hell when the time comes for us to take profits. I think people need to, yeah, I think people need to understand something. You have right now an asset that the financial worth or the taxation worth of it is undefined. And that is and let me just put it this way, it's invisible, it's mobile, and it can be converted in any country in the world. That is one of the things that, if you look at it from the point of the government, and the government, like I said, is not all bad. There is good things. You know, they do some good things, you know. I mean, the post office has to go goodbye, but that's a different story. Some other agencies and stuff like that, of course. But here's the thing. Right now, let's say you take $10 million. Let's say you bought into XRP and it goes up to $10 million, whatever amount of coins you have. And let's say you say, you know something? I'm going to take that and I'm going to go to Paraguay. I'm going to become a resident there. And then in 2 years, I become a citizen there. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my XRP. I'm going to convert it to Bitcoin. And it's a Bitcoin friendly country. And I'm going to deposit my Bitcoin into my bank account. And I'm now a citizen of Paraguay or Dubai or Singapore, United Emirates, or whatever it may be. Do you understand that the government, the IRS, is not designed to go after you, Rich? It's designed to go after like major country. Like how do you participate?
Oh my God.
If you don't give that information to them, you're talking the average guy right now is now going to be involved in crypto money laundering legally and not even know he's doing something that might offend the powers that be, because he goes, oh, wait a minute, it's true. The country that I'm moving to because of my girlfriend, they take Bitcoin. So if I take my XRP and convert it to Bitcoin at that time, I could just deposit my Bitcoin there. And I could, yeah, that's great. But guess what? You just washed it through multiple ledgers in different countries. Do you understand? It's a totally different thing, because let's say, for example, like for me, you know, I was going to do the video Singapore versus Dubai. And
Yep.
laugh at it because, well, you could do Singapore versus Dubai or you can do South Africa, whatever. But right now, Singapore obviously is the one that's giving like they're willing to give you like an exchange in dollar worth gold for your XRP. Then you take a look at Dubai. Dubai is opening up the entire market for XRP. So you can buy real estate, cars, a lot of things, because they already defined it as a currency alongside Bitcoin. So those two right now have the most open-minded crypto-focused governments. So you could easily go to both and live an incredible life. I mean, you really could. You know, yeah, Singapore, you'll be traveling for like 22 hours, and Dubai 14 hours. But to think about it, if you have that money and you're flying, you know, an amazing first class and you're breaking it up to Europe, and once you land there and you set everything up, your life will be different forever. And I tell everybody that's holding XRP right now, the same way I used to tell people back in the old days with Bitcoin, one day this coin is going to be used to move money around the world without governments. And understand it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very expensive and people are going to be rich. I'm saying the same thing now, and just telling people it's going to change your life, but it's not a bad thing. It's just going to be different. Do you want to be middle class, upper middle class in America through, or, you know, listen, let's just be real. In America, how are you going to explain depositing, I don't know, 27 million worth of crypto gains in XRP to Bank of America?
It's gonna be hard.
Do you
It's
understand
gonna
what
be
I'm trying to
extremely
say?
hard.
And even
They don't
if
think you
you
have a
did,
different occupation.
exactly. And here's the thing, even if you didn't do anything wrong, like I just learned with the government, it doesn't fucking matter. I told them, but I wasn't in the country. I wasn't in the bank. How could you say I was at a bank? And you got a picture of a guy that's at a bank, but it's not me. You know what they said? Mr. Bravo, what do you want us to do? The indictment was drawn up. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I realized that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you're accused, you're accused. Are you going to spend $3 to $4 million, clearing your name? Yeah, good luck. That's going to destroy your life. That's why you see a lot of the people that from our past election, the Roger Stones, General Flynn, why did they take pleas? Why did they do that? It's because you can't win. It's not designed to win. Like they told me directly to my face, we have a 99% conviction rate. I said, wow, like nobody has that. No surgeon, no baseball player. There's nothing in the world that gives you a 99% like win. So you got to be cheating. So the idea is, do you really want to have your life tied up in some Bank of America employee saying, wow, this looks suspicious. I don't know the color of his shirt. Is that his car outside? Huh, he must be a drug dealer. And there goes one phone call that changes your life. Yeah, I'd rather go where people go to the bank in Bentleys and Maybachs. And when I come in with 23 million, 27 million, they're like, oh, welcome to Dubai. Oh, welcome to Singapore.
Yeah.
Totally different. I just tell people that to protect themselves, because I believe that there are people on this call that have, let's say, several thousands. I mean, like all the coins, I have a bazillion of these coins. Do you really think I'm going to go to my local bank and be like, hey, how you doing? Listen, I'm going to be making a large deposit. This ain't AMC. Like people have to understand this. This might, 5, 10,000, 20,000, who knows? You might catch it on a day when it's 26,000. Bitcoin during the pandemic, when everybody was freaking out, moving money all over the place, went up to $64,000. So let's say we go to some ridiculous number and you cash out a portion of it. What are you going to do with that? Okay, now it's sitting in your exchange and it's going to transfer to your account, probably in portions. Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, for real, you're going to have to go overseas. You're going to have to do what everybody else does. You're going to have to go overseas. America is not designed for, I say like this, if you're not rich, you're poor. It's not designed for poor people to deposit millions unless it's from the lottery or a lawsuit. That's just how America works. We're a free country, but God forbid if you're not a celebrity, a lottery winner, or a lawsuit winner, and you try to deposit that money. So it's gonna be real. But like I said, well, I don't know. We'll go to Dubai together. But the thing is, you can't drink there. Singapore, we can take care of business, and everybody just go to Thailand, or like that, and have fun there. It'll be
Thank you
good.
very much, Lou.
Good times. You have a good night, brother. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to. Okay, that's it. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap up the call and try to get on with my night here. Probably, to write some emails back and forth. One thing I'm going to tell everybody is this. Everybody here breaks into two camps. Those who believe this is going to go into high prices, I agree. I'm one of those. Those that like, can it really happen? Can it really happen? And all I can say is this. You got to give the banks a chance to catch up to where they should have been. Because remember, everything was put on pause. Nobody could do anything until certain, rulings came in place. But I'll give you an example. Bitcoin became a monster when the institutes came in and started buying it. Okay? But there's only a couple of the major banks, the institutes. There's only a couple of them, 4, 5, 6, whatever. How many banks right now in America and the world are now going to be buying, countries are going to be buying into XRP? I believe that we're going to be larger than people believe. I think we're going to see daily spikes in the next year and so to come, that it's just going to leave people just. Remember, Bitcoin paved the way for XRP, because in my opinion, XRP is Bitcoin 2.0. It's Bitcoin with the ability to tokenize and so much more. So with that, giant hugs, everybody, and I will talk to everybody tomorrow.